It's time for the Week in Review. We're going to take you through June 27th to July 1st as we saw it on HTV. When we come back, it all gets started on the Week in Review.
Deep in the heart of the bayou, we are gathered here tonight. Now it's time for action, 'cause our lives are on the line. Tonight we'll do our very best to break through all the bureaucratic mess. The time has come tonight, 'cause it's bayou time. Show 'em what Louisiana's all about.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Martin Folse. It's time for the Week in Review. We're going to take you through 6/27 through 7/1, and we're going to show you the events that shaped our area for this week. Well, of course, it always starts on Monday here at Bayou Time. So let's take a look at some of Monday's events as we saw it on the program. HTV, welcome to Bayou Time. Your topic tonight, please.
Hello, Martin.
How you doing tonight?
Martin, I want to talk a little bit about these environmentalists
All right.
and these turtles.
Okay.
Look, them turtles originate out of Mexico, about 1,000. These environmentalists, these poor shrimpers catch 100 over here, 200 in that trolls. They want to stop them from shrimping. Mm-hmm. Why don't these environmentalists, instead of all that money they're spending delegating to stop the trollers from trawling, take that money, go to Mexico, pick them up on the beach where they kill them by the thousands, the Mexicans and all. Bring them here, raise them for a couple 100,000, and cut them loose. You know, these environmentalists, they done lost all common sense in this world. They need to put them on Gilligan's Island. I'm serious. They don't want you to drill. They don't want you to troll. Mm-hmm. Of course, I believe in taking care of our land. Mm-hmm. But they done lost all sense of pure, deep, common sense. They don't want you to drill, but they want to drive SUVs.
Yeah, good point.
They want these turtles. They can go to Mexico and get them by the thousands. Them turtles don't originate from the United States. They come from Mexico.
Oh, we have Joe Harrison on line one. Good. Joe was just talking about you as far as the shrimping industry. Good to hear from you. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. What's your take on it? Give me a little update.
Well, Martin, we had the big protest in Baton Rouge just over a week ago where the shrimpers came in. And we've been trying to get as much attention to this as possible because this kind of came under the radar. NOAA and one of the ladies with NOAA, which she's one of these overboard environmentalists, is trying to fabricate information to say that our shrimpers are killing turtles, and that is not true. That's absolutely false.
Okay.
What we're doing, we're going to have a conference on Wednesday with Congressman Fleming, who's the head of that committee, Congressman Landry, and also David Bitter's office and two other people from the other offices, Mary Landry's office, that are going to be involved in this. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get our Shrimp Association people are going to be there and a few others. We got to get to the bottom of this. This is a real threat to us. I mean, since Katrina, we have lost about almost 2/3 of our total shrimp, commercial shrimpers, and that's really kind of killing our culture and an industry that we can't afford to let go.
I guess that was kind of my prelude to all of this. If we allow the feds, and I'm glad I have you on the phone, because I think we think alike on this. If we allow the feds to knock out an entire industry, I mean, then we have no choice but to bring shrimp in from the outside, but we really lose a whole lot more than that, don't we? We lose really the base of what our area is all about, don't we?
Well, that's true, and I've said this often. Unfortunately, I think our worst enemy is our own federal government. They don't have turtle excluders on any of the countries that are importing shrimp into the United States, and that should be mandated at least equal to what we're doing right now with our turtle excluders, but not to put it on our skimmer boats. that'll kill our industry.
Yeah, because, and I think maybe one of the callers previous said, those skimming the TEDs, don't they lose a whole bunch of their catch just having that on anyway?
Absolutely. This is the safety danger is something I'm concerned about, because the weight of the TEDs in a small net like that could actually pull it back into the boat now.
Okay, all right.
So there is a safety factor there that we're looking into, and we're trying to do as much as we possibly can right now to combat this. And you said it earlier, it's like it never ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's the the imports that we've been fighting for the last couple of years. We finally beat them in court.
Well, yeah, you had the train roll. I said this earlier. You had the train rolling. I can remember having you on several Bayou times, and you had all these meetings going on. You had people changing laws. You had all this. Then the oil spill happened, and it threw them for a loop, and everybody sort of redirected to the oil spill. But you were right on the verge of getting a bunch of good stuff. So I guess it just got to refocus now, don't we?
We do, and the key issue is really getting the kind of market support that we're going to need to be able to make sure that our shrimpers and the processors and the whole industry as a whole is going to be healthy enough to survive the short price that we're going through right now, and be able to supplement our people through via the BP money, and make sure that they're not going to go under as many of our previous shrimpers have over the last couple of years. We have to maintain this industry.
HTV, welcome to the program. Your comments, please.
Yeah. How you doing, Mr. Martin?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been listening to all this stuff. To listen, when we was shrimping, they had a airplane that came somewhere and threw some turtles ahead of us, and we was dragging, and we caught one, and they had a number on it, and I threw it away. My husband said, he said, make sure you don't keep that on the deck. So I didn't. Well, that's what they're doing. They're blaming the shrimpers, but it's some of them Republicans that's trying to hurt the American people over here.
All right, so you said a plane?
Airplane, yeah, airplane.
Flew in front of you and dropped some turtles in the water?
He was dropping about every 50 feet in front of us. That's right.
Wow.
That is right. If I could have took the number of the plane, somebody could have caught him. I mean, that's no lie what I'm saying.
Well, no, I believe it.
I don't shrimp no more. I don't shrimp no more, but that was about maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago when they started all that stuff about them turtles.
Now explain this to me. When the turtle excluding devices, the TEDs, when do they become dangerous for small boats? When the water gets choppy, what happens?
When it's calm, but you don't catch no turtle. We shrimp for about 20-something years, and we ain't never caught no turtle besides when that plane, I could see him dropping the turtles in the front of us. That's what I'm telling you. It's an airplane or seaplane or whatever. It was a plane for sure. That's all I can tell you.
Okay.
And he was dropping something. I told my husband, I said, you know what? I said, that's some damn turtles he's dropping. Because I caught my field glasses. And that's what I noticed what he was doing. And we caught one, too, a little small one. They're dropping them over here. They're bringing them over here. And if they die in this fresh water, they're blaming the shrimpers. The shrimpers ain't hurting nobody, but trying to make a damn living, man.
So they were sabotaging y'all by dropping them in front of you.
That's right, but we were smarter than them, because I don't even like the looks of them, much less trying to eat them.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I never heard that, but I'm glad you shared that
Well,
with me.
that is the truth, what I'm saying. I mean, because it surprised me. I told my husband, I said, he's dropping some damn turtles. Look, and I give him the field glasses, and he could see him. You could see him good. He would come closer to the water.
Well, all right. We're trying to give you all a voice, so hopefully it'll get a little.
They're coming from Mexico, most probably. They are coming from Mexico.
Yeah, that's what one of the callers said earlier.
Them turtles, I don't believe they live in this fresh water down here. There's too much mud and everything else. They don't live. They live on the sand, like in maybe around Biloxi, around there, Grand Isle, and yet I doubt if they live in Grand Isle.
Oh, we have State Representative Gordy Dove. Good to hear all the legislators are tuned in, and we want to try to get them involved. State Representative Gordy Dove, how are you today, sir?
Good, Martin. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good. We're just trying to sort of take up for one of our industries over here and trying to get the word out. And what's your take on the turtle excluding devices and all? Let's get your take on it tonight.
Well, Martin, that's just another heartache on the shrimpers. They're making it more and more stringent. Those devices allow shrimp to get out of it, and I was never a big proponent of the shrimp excluding devices, but the federal government requires it, so we have, we have to comply.
Yeah, I'm yet to get the answer I want. Are you familiar with the devices themselves? Why do they make it so dangerous? A lot of trawlers say that those devices make it dangerous because it weighs the boat down, but is it just the sheer weight of them, or is it just a drag on them? Do you know why?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy, and I've seen them, and I've seen them pulled, and yeah, it's just the sheer drag of them. And I mean, that they can hook onto an object in the water, and it's just, I mean, it's something that's just a drag. That's a drag on the on the vessel itself, and I guess there's no other design out for that. But I mean, the few. Martin, I've shrimped throughout my life growing up, and I mean, we'd never caught these turtles, I mean, and I know they're caught, but I mean, I just don't think they're as plentiful as what's made out to be,
Well, it's like I was just saying, if the shrimpers, and there were much more shrimpers in family shrimping 10 years ago than there are today, if they weren't pulling up a whole bunch and there's still turtles left, then obviously there's a whole bunch of turtles that have always been around and will survive. I don't know why they're picking on one industry, and but once again, I think Joe Harrison made a good point, because the money in the imports is paramount, and the lobbyists are there, and you know about lobbyists. When people have the money and the lobbyists and the PR starts working, it's hard to fight that, isn't it?
Oh, exactly, and they did more than, these environmentalists, and some of these environmentalists go way too far overboard on now we're all out for protection, for protecting wildlife and sea
Sure.
turtles and what have you, but I mean, there's a limit to going overboard when it's really creating a havoc on an industry that's already struggling.
Yeah, and I just, sometimes I don't get it. I remember when the alligator was almost extinct, and now you can't get in a boat and go 100 yards without seeing them, and Swamp People's a pretty big show now,
Right, it's full of alligators. Species will survive. I mean, they're going to survive. They're going to survive hurricanes. They're going to survive Mother Nature. They're going to survive fishing. And, this is just environmentalists out of Washington, the same ones who try to shut us down on our levees, in Terrebonne Parish, gives us trouble when we try to build barrier islands because, all of a sudden we're destroying something. And, I'm just a firm believer the people come first and the species second. Right.
Yeah, now I've always said that, people over the pelican or the eggs, but obviously they don't listen because it keeps the animals keep winning out for some reason.
Yeah, and it goes back to Washington, and like it was said, the environmentalists, Joe Biden made a statement. He said the environmentalists are back in the White House, and it's good to be environmentalists. It's good to protect wildlife, but I mean at the same time you have to work with people's living, their livelihood, and their way of life, what they've done their whole life.
Right.
And this just it just goes overboard.
Well, if we don't fight for the shrimping industry, I mean, to me around here, these people who are part of our community for years and years and years, are actually the economy at some point. And I know medicine's big, the oil's big, but seafood industry in Louisiana just drives a tremendous amount of economic impact, and if we don't fight for them, who's going to fight for them?
Well, that's right, Martin. It's a way of life. We all grew up. We've all had relatives. We've all been shrimping, and I mean, all oyster fishing, and it's people's livelihood that's at stake here. But when a lot of laws are made, sometimes people overlook. Who and what are they hurting? They're hurting the working man and woman in Terrebonne and Lafourche and St. Bernard and Plaquemine and throughout Louisiana and the Gulf Coast.
All right, there you saw Monday. When we come back, we move to Tuesday on Bayou Time. It's all next.